এ পর্বের অতিথি নেপালের ন্যাশনাল ব্যাংকিং ইনস্টিটিউটের প্রধান কর্তা ব্যক্তি। একই সাথে তিনি এশিয়া প্যাসিফিক অ্যাসোসিয়েশন অব ব্যাংকিং ইনস্টিটিউটের বর্তমান চেয়ারম্যান। ব্যাংকার হিসেবে কর্মজীবন শুরু করলেও পরবর্তীতে শিক্ষাবিদ হিসেবে থাইল্যান্ড এবং নেপালে বড় ভূমিকা রাখছেন সঞ্জীব সুবা। Sanjib, welcome in Dhaka. I'm excited. You're the first Nepali who are in iStyle.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your welcome and great to be at the ISO. Looking forward to it.
You're here to attending regional banking conference. Tell us something about more.
I mean, this is a great initiative taken by the Bangladesh Institute of Bank Management, and they've invited us as a co-organizer. 4 countries are here now together with the Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal and India. We're discussing a lot of different areas from the banking industry, challenges and the opportunities, so a lot of knowledge sharing. And thanks to your governor, Dr. Fazle Kabir, who was here, central bank governor, and he motivated us to, share more and learn from each other. So it is a really great program that's going on right now here in Dhaka.
So I'm talking with a banker or an academician?
Yes, I started as my career started as a banker in a bank called Greenlays, which is now acquired by Stan C. So I'm very blessed to actually have started my career as a banker, because that allowed me to, bring a lot of discipline, a lot of, governance, a lot of prudency in me. And then actually after doing banking for about 10 years, and then decided to completely switch over and move to a brand new university they were starting in Thailand. So that was quite an interesting journey, because I liked the idea. Perhaps that was in me. I wanted to take a new challenge, new risk. So we were the part of the team to start the Webster University in Thailand from day one. And then I did that for about 11 years and decided to again come back to Nepal with National Banking Institute. So when I looked at the, that NBI, when it was incorporated, the job was kind of perfectly designed for me. It looked like, because of both the banking and the academic background.
You said you love to take the challenges every time.
Right.
So is it something you have got it from your father? Because your father was a soldier family and your mom, she's from a priest family.
Actually, it looks like, I had this DNA in me that wanted to challenge the status quo.
Okay.
Always question who am I and what am I doing here? What could I do better? So these are the stuff, so status quo maintaining is not me. I'm not the kind of person who would sit in my comfort zone. Maybe perhaps a risk taker, perhaps very inquisitive as a person, very curious as a person. So on the go, my journey is kind of on the learning curve all the time. I'm learning all the time.
Since you went out of the box and you said you are a banker,
right,
and you teach the bankers too, so are you saying a banker can take the risk and he can go to the out of the box?
We as a banker and the banking industry thrives only on risk. That is the only expertise we have actually. And even I go on the record saying the only product that we have is a risk. So this is the kind of the challenge that I ask my banker, delegates and participants to always reflect on. The financial industry is evolving. It is getting very dynamic. Has always been dynamic. It is evolving. It is transforming. It is changing. If they sit in a comfort zone for a long time, they will be outdated. They'll be dinosaur. So this is where they need to challenge themselves. They need to take more prudent stuff. Come out of their comfort zone. So this is what it is.
So tell us something about the Nepal economy.
Nepal economy is a very small GDP we have at the moment. It's only about $26 billion. But perhaps that has to do with the kind of the political stalemate that we had for last over almost 10-15 years. And then finally the new constitution was drafted and in place. But since last 3 months, a lot of good signals are coming. The elections has taken place, the local body, the state government and the federal government, the central government. So the new bodies are in place, elected body. And then we hope now moving forward, we will grow at least minimum 6 to 7%, minimum. and double-digit growth I can expect at least within two to 2.5 years. I can expect double-digit growth year on year.
So can I take the privilege to give a round to BIBM campus?
Sure, would love to do that.
আমরা যেটা দেখেছি এই সম্মেলনে যে তাদের রেগুলেশন কিন্তু অনেক রেগুলেশন স্ট্রং এবং এটার প্রয়োগও খুবই খুবই স্ট্রংলি তারা প্রয়োগ করছেন। এছাড়া হিউম্যান ক্যাপিটাল ডেভেলপমেন্টেও সঞ্জীব এবং তার দল নিশ্চয়ই খুব চমৎকারভাবে কন্ট্রিবিউট করছে টু মেইনটেইন দিস রিজনেবলি লো লেভেল অফ নন পারফর্মিং লোন। আমরা মনে করি যে নেপাল সহ যারা অন্যান্য পার্টিসিপেন্ট আছেন তাদের এক্সপেরিয়েন্সগুলো আমরা আমাদের সমস্যাগুলো অ্যাড্রেস করার ক্ষেত্রে ব্যবহার করতে পারবো।
I've been working in the banking sector for the last 3 decades, and we always believe that we need a training center, training institute where our people can be educated and our people can be trained, and then our people can talk in the same language. And then we needed very good CEO who could manage this institution. We all of us thought that we would bring some foreigner to manage this company. That is why it was a global ad, and he applied and he got selected, and he's doing excellent job. He's making difference in training our people. So both Sanjib and NBI are respectable names in our country.
He is a man with integrity, and he's a man with positive attitude. When you look at his Facebook comments and posts, he always talks about positive things about banking sector, what are the lackings there and how we can improve it, and he deals with people in a very polite manner. He always thinks of something new. So he's a man with integrity, honesty and rule of law. He follows corporate governance, and he conducts so many programs about leadership and corporate governance. That way he wants to contribute to the country. In fact, he had got better offers elsewhere, but he decided to come back to the country and contribute. So that itself shows his positive attitude toward the country and toward the human being.
Nepal, or neighboring country, your NPL rate is less than 2%. How come?
Culturally, Nepali people would not like to default, and then the process is once you default, you become a defaulter, your photo comes in the newspaper. That is a major social stigma, and then many people have gone to jail, including the chairman of the bank has been sent to the jail. In my country, if you are office bearer of the politics, you are not allowed to sit in the board.
Okay.
So member of parliament, or these people are not allowed to sit in the board. We only have 7 board members that is directed by the regulator. I think you have about 15 board members here in the country.
Yeah, right.
So the less number means less problem, less opinion differences. So from the different promoter groups. So, and when they default, the regulator take their passport back, so they cannot travel. The defaulter cannot travel outside. Yes, and then lot of these issues, and it's social prestige also comes down. So we need to be more mindful. This is where I talked about coming out of the status quo, challenge the status quo. What can we do better now? We've already done better, much better. So this is where the regulator has really worked, the reform process has really worked, and then the whole stakeholder really supported, and because they also, borrower also need to understand they need to grow, not by the default, but by the prudency, by the, following the ethical business practices.
And another interesting part is year on year you have around 25% growth in banking. How did it happen?
We still think the 28 commercial banks are large number for the economic size of the only $26 billion GDP. We are working to make more consolidation. So year on year growth is the more opportunities are coming up now. All right, the political kind of the crisis is now out. The entrepreneurship ecosystem is working very thriving, actually very vibrant now, and it is expected. So this is where the banks are seeking more opportunity and that is the result of the growth. We have had in last 2 years, banks were asked to increase their paid up capital by 4 times. For example, the commercial banks had the paid up capital only 2 billion Nepali rupees. Now they were asked to bring to 8 billion Nepali rupees, and it's already been done. Large number of banks have already made the capital. Those banks they did not make the capital had to go through the merger process. So that really brought the number down. And when the number brought down, the capital went up, and this is where, and the economic were expanding, the business opportunity was coming. So the banks are seizing the opportunity now.
We have Bangladeshi investment there too in banking sector, and you have a bank named Nepal Bangladesh Bank. How it is doing?
This bank is doing very well. I mean, it went through its own set of challenges in the early times, but last, I think, 5-6 years, the bank has really transformed very, very well. I think it's brought in new investor as well, the bank from Bangladesh. So the bank has been able to contain the previous issues very, very smartly and very well. So that was the bank at one point of time, about 10 years or 11 years back, that was the first bank was on the bank on the run. But the new leadership, new people came in and they handled it very effectively. And most importantly, our regulator, took the very, prompt decisions and took the bank through a lot of corrective actions. So it is now in a very good shape, very good hand.
If any Bangladeshi investors would like to go to Nepal to invest, what should be the topic, what should be the subject they should look into?
The economy is, growing such rapidly, the Bangladeshi investor would find a lot of opportunity, no doubt about it. I mean, there's so many sectors, now there's a lot of Chinese investment is also coming, there's huge Indian investment is here, there's a pocket investment from the US, and then European countries are also coming in, so in service sector, hospitality, even the medical sector is a growing sector in Nepal, the education sector is growing sector in Nepal, like when you talk about the service kind of stuff, and even the IT. Lot of outsourcing IT and the software production is happening in Nepal for the overseas market. So these are the and the Nepalese youth are highly talented actually. One, they are bilingual. The medium of instruction at the school level is in English. So they are very proficient in the language and they are very smart, very internet savvy. They are like 21st gen kind of the kids we have in the country. What they need is more opportunity to work with the multinational kind of the environment. So given the kind of the population that we have, the youth population, we are blessed with the youth population and very smart population and very hardworking population, and the kind of the proximity that Nepal has, no other country can even imagine that we are sitting between two giant economy of the world, China and India. These are the market dominant, and other country envy us. Perhaps, and yes, they should, because we are into the middle of these two economies. So any FDI coming would have the advantage of business and economic opportunity with both the country. So that is one beauty of the country.
You do mentorship with the Nepali young crowd who would like to be the entrepreneur. Tell us something for Bangladeshi young crowd.
Yes, I always, thrived on working with the young population because they keep on challenging me. The kind of the questions, the kind of issues they raise are very interesting and I get to learn a lot. So for my message to the youth, all right, you are a new generation kid, you are into 21st century, but there's no shortcut to the success. You need to have passion for anything that you do, and you need to work anything on a very religiously, and then work smart. The work smart does not mean that you don't work hard. Working hard means you might be working hard but not being productive, not being efficient. So try to figure out how can I be efficient, and at least to understand what is efficiency. Efficiency means, from my perspective, is speed and accuracy. Make less error, and the moment you make error, learn from it. Fail. Until 35, you are allowed to fail. Whatever profession you try to do, take up, whether entrepreneur or regular employee or whatever, be best at it, be good at it, but you must enjoy it. Success is not how much money you made and how many cars parked in your parking lot or what kind of bungalow you have. I don't consider that a success. I have met many millionaire people, they were happy in life. You need to be internally happy. What makes you happy? Of course, you have to pay your bill. That's practically part of it. But at the same time, you don't want to have a dog's life, feeling insecure, feeling not happy, always under the, threat, and then you are still making money. Sorry. Success is not how much, what kind of $1 million sits in your bank account or what Mercedes or Rolls Royce or Jaguar you drive. No, sorry, it's not that. Success is, are you happy?
Sanjib, ধন্যবাদ and very বেটেওয়ালা।
এমদাদ, ভালোবাসি টু আইস্টাইল দর্শক, ধন্যবাদ।
ধন্যবাদ। আমরাও চাই 21 শতকের একজন তরুণ, সে উদ্যোক্তা হোক কিংবা প্রফেশনাল, সে অ্যাকিউরেট থাকবে, সে স্পিড নিয়ে কাজ করবে এবং সবচেয়ে ইম্পর্টেন্ট নিজের মানসিক শান্তি নিয়ে কাজ করবে। পরের পর্বে অন্য কোনো অতিথিকে নিয়ে দেখা হবে। টিল দেন আই উইশ ইউ আ ভেরি গুড উইক। গুড বাই।